Hello, my friends. So, finally completely dry. It took a while, but this is my swatch, as you may remember from yesterday. And so now that it's completely dry, it's time to measure it. And for that, I have a couple of tools that I wanted to share. First, this is my favorite, one of my favorite tools. It's the Susan Bates metal. Um, it measures gauge, and it also measures your needle size, as you can see. It is great. I love it. It's metal. I thought I had lost this one. I actually just found it. So I bought a second one this summer. The only problem with the metal is it can get a little warped, a little bent. But I like it. It's like a little smoother for me than the wooden ones. I like the wooden ones a lot. They're charming, or I guess they're bamboo. I have a few of those too. I think they're all from Katrinkles, which is where you should get yours. But for some stuff, I find this convenient because it's got the measuring, it's got a ruler here on the bottom and along the side, and it's got the little window. So maybe I just need to find the right one from Katie from Katrinkles. In addition, this summer I also got, this is called a handy gauge ruler. It is this sort of thick acetate ruler, and it measures up to 9 inches. But that's not what's really important about it. It's these little markings, which are kind of hard to see, but they are different gauges, and you lay them over your knitting, and then you can sort of easily figure out how many stitches, like they sort of line up. So I'm going to flip the camera around to show you what we're doing here. Maybe I can't flip it around. All right, I am going to start a new video with the camera flipped. Okay, and here we are. And this is backwards. So I do it like this. And what you do is you want to lay it, the hard part about this yarn for me is how dark it is. It's really hard to see the stitches. So I'm going to do it over the gray part. And let's see if I can, okay, oops. This, like this, I've got it the right way. I'll tell you in advance that it was 6.5 in the color work. So let's see if I can see it there. Sort of see in here that it pretty much covers each stitch. And then I did it also in the darker part, and it turned out to be about 6 stitches per inch. So that is the gauge I'm going to be working with. And as you can see, I have made some notes here. Gauge 6.5, and then stockinette 6. And I got a row gauge of about 7 stitches per inch to the inch. I am going to do all my lengths by length measurement rather than by counting rows. So that's the slight difference. Okay, and you can also see these are my planned bust sizes, and I'm planning to make a 44-inch size. So that will be my starting point, and then I'll have a few sizes down here and a bunch of sizes up here, and I will grade out from there. So that is the next step, is to grade the pattern. Okay, so as I said, the next step is to start doing the math of the pattern. Now that I have my numbers, I have my bust measurement, I know what I think I want the lengths to be of the body and the sleeves and the upper arm and the cuff and the collar, and those are the main numbers. I'm not planning on doing waist shaping or anything, so that will make the body itself just a very simple tube, which is nice. The sleeves will taper from the upper arm to the cuff. And so what I'm going to do next is set up my spreadsheets, put in all those numbers, and start figuring out things like the yoke, which will be done in color work, and then the sleeves and the body, which will be done in just straight stockinette in one color, so that will have a different gauge. Now, I've seen other sweaters where they have changed the needle to get the gauge. I have decided that I don't want to do that. I just want to use the one needle. I'm less likely to mess up if I'm doing one. I may switch to a smaller needle for the ribbing, but otherwise I want to just use the one needle. So that will mean adjusting the stitch count between the colorwork yoke and then the body and the sleeves. So the math will be a little more complicated there, but I should be able to figure it out pretty easily, thanks to the spreadsheets. And that way you don't have to worry about getting a second needle, and it'll all work out nicely there. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a spreadsheet. I'm actually going to do 2 sheets, and one is going to be top down and one is going to be bottom up, and they will start with the same sets of numbers for the measurements and the gauge, but then I will work it out one way and the other. And since I'm generally, most of the patterns I write are bottom up, I'm probably going to do that spreadsheet first, so that I have the numbers in my head of what needs to go where, and how that works. And then I should be able to reverse the shaping so that you can do it top down. So so that's sort of exciting for me to have that to figure out. So that is the next thing. And then hopefully I can start writing out the pattern. I've got, a basic chart. It's not the pretty charts that will be in the layout, but I can get started, because I'm getting a little antsy to actually get knitting on this. I haven't been knitting much lately because I've been really busy with I Knit Paris and the next project that we're working on for One More Press, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I haven't actually had much knitting on the needles. So that has been good and bad. Good because I've had some problems with my shoulder. I'm putting my shoulder blade, and I've been doing some physical therapy for that too. So that's the other reason I haven't been knitting as much. But I have been cleared for all activities, and I've got my exercises to do, and so it's really time for me to get knitting. So I will be grading the pattern in terms of the colorwork portion and the stockinette portion, and then I should be able to write the bones of the pattern. I probably won't write it out completely because that would involve putting all my numbers in, but I'll write out the bones and I'll know where all the numbers slot in so that I can get started and make sure this is actually going to work. So that is the story from here today. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully, and I will have my laptop with me and I can show you the spreadsheets and how that all works. So thanks for being here. I hope you're having fun watching me go through this process. And I'm looking forward to having a pattern for you at the end. Okay, bye.